Hi guys, Steph here. Okay, now some of you people that watch my videos on a regular basis will have seen this pen here on one of my recent pen hauls. As you can see, rather tired, quite a discoloured pen as well, and there you go, you can see the plunger doesn't work, which is quite normal for these old pens, so the pen needs a little bit of TLC. And after the TLC, here we have the pen all done and ready to go. Look at that. Isn't it a lovely, lovely pen? What we've got for you here is the Onoto The Pen by Rue in London, and this model here is what we term as the 5000 series. Now the 5000 series, or the Onoto The Pens, the 5000 series of the period, they made numerous different models, different trim, different colours. There were some with sort of red mottling, there's other different colours. I've also seen them with what we term as a split cap, whereas the cap is split in the middle and it has a clip from the middle of the cap here. But this one, as you can see, is the capless version. It's also what we term as the short version, and when I say the short version, from the top of the cap to the bottom of the barrel, it's 119 millimeters capped. Around the diameter of the barrel, it's approximately 11 millimeters in diameter. Now what I'm going to do, let me have a look over the camera. Now I don't know if you'll actually be able to see this. Obviously the pen is actually over 100 years old, so if I just sort of turn it slightly, you may be able to see there it says Onoto The Pen, and then underneath it has Rue London. It's a little bit on the worn side. As I say, a 100-year-old pen. When I say 100-year-old, we're dating the pen from the 1920s. To the bottom here, like most Onoto pens, there's actually the model number, the 5000. Again, quite worn, and I needed to get a sort of a magnifying glass to actually see it. It's worn, but, well, yeah, legible if you look for it. So again, we have the short version of the Onoto The Pen 5000. Now the nice thing about it, you'll see it's got these two bands here, and again, if I try and find it for you, oh, it's difficult looking over the camera. I think there it is there. So if I bring it quite close, hopefully you'll be able to see it has DLR for Rue, and the nice thing about these, they're actually 18 karat gold bands. So let's try and keep it still, give it a little bit of a twirl, and hopefully I'm showing you the right location there. But yeah, you can take my word for it. We've got, and again, in my opinion, I think that's quite unusual. They're normally 14 karat gold, but we've got two DLR 18 karat gold bands on the pen. Now the cap on this version is what we term as a slip cap, which is self-explanatory. It slips on and off. Okay, there you go. There's a couple of little sort of different angles for you to see. And for you people that know, or don't know should I say, this is what we term as a plunger filler, which means to the bottom here we've got this plunger knob that we unscrew. Okay, and then once we unscrew it, we pull out the plunger like so. We immerse the nib and the section into the ink, and we press down in one swift movement. Okay, let's do it a couple of times. I'm hoping you can hear this sort of hissing, popping sound down to the bottom. Okay, now this pen, as you can see, because, well, before it was very discoloured, I fully restored it. I've put a brand new cup washer to the plunger. We've put brand new cork washers to the end of the pen, fully serviced, so fingers crossed it should be in full working order. Although it's a short pen, it's still nice and comfortable to hold, even with my large hands. You can see the section there is quite long, and then let's show you the nib. Let's keep it nice and still. It's got a Rue Onoto 14 carat London nib. There's a sideways view, and let's show you the feed underneath. On these particular pens, they've just got quite a plain feed, as you can see there. But as I said, it's been fully restored. Everything's been cleaned internally. We've put new, as I say, new washers, new plunger washer, etc. So what we'll do, let's see if the pen works. So unscrew the plunger. Let's bring on some ink, and what I'll do, I'll dip it in the ink and then I'll be quiet, and hopefully you can hear the bubbling noise. Okay, so it's a sort of like a sort of popping sound as well. Let's give that a wipe, and then what we do then, we simply screw the plunger all the way home. Now this pen, like a lot of pens, has the shut off sort of mechanism inside here, so to use this pen you would screw it all the way back and then just give it a half turn backwards, which opens sort of the shut off valve inside and allows the ink to flow. Fingers crossed. So let's see how the pen writes. So we've got Onoto the pen, Rue London, and as we say, we're dating the pen from the 1920s. It's actually writing very nicely indeed. Now the pen, I was looking at it earlier and it looked to have, I'm not even too sure if it's a stub nib. I thought at first it might be oblique, but it may be a stub nib, because there we go, on a downward stroke we're getting quite a thick line, but on the cross stroke we can achieve quite a fine line. So there we go, we're running out of ink, so there you go. So you can see that it's a beautiful ride and nice and smooth, but I would say it's writing with a stub nib, with a variation excuse me on the downward stroke being quite broad. On the cross stroke you can see it's quite a fine line, but either way a gorgeous writer. Now what we'll do, as we'll do with a lot of these Onoto pens, let's show you how the pen sort of fills, etc. Whoops a daisy. So let's bring on some water, and then what we do, as I say, unscrew the plunger, pull out the plunger as far as it goes, immerse it in the water or the ink, and then press down in one swift motion. You can see all the ink coming out from the previous fill. Okay, now if I actually do it sort of above the water, so I'll pull out the plunger and then we'll press down on the plunger again in one swift movement. There we go. Let's just fill it again. Okay, you can see the sort of bubbling, which is precisely what we like to see. And then pull out the plunger and push down again. And do it once more. There we go. Lift it above, pull out the plunger, and there we have it. You can see the ink literally squirts out of the pen. So all is in working order. We'll do it a few more times off camera just to clean everything off internally. But there we go. Let's put the cap back on. And the nice thing about this one as well is the cap goes on nice and sturdy. Okay, a lot of them tend to be very loose. This one is very nice and sturdy indeed. But there we have it. Okay, you can see the rod inside the end of the plunger there. All in all, a gorgeous pen. So an Onoto The Pen from the 5000 series. This is the short version in beautiful condition from around about the 1920s. So there we have it. I hope you've enjoyed looking at the pen as much as I enjoy showing them you people as always. Don't forget people, leave a comment below, don't be shy. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel as well, and please, a lot of you forget, just there, press that thumbs up symbol and give the video a thumbs up, and it helps me a lot. But for now, from this gorgeous pen and me, I'll just say Slavo Kriini and bye bye for now.